I'm revealing my crypto AI portfolio, all the different projects and altcoins that I think have massive potential over 2024 and 2025. This cycle so far, I've made almost $100,000 from airdrops alone. I had multiple projects go up over 2,000%, and I threw my entire life savings, every dime I owned, besides equity in my house, into crypto almost a week from the exact bottom of the market. The way that you win investing isn't by just chasing the current hottest thing, but by instead looking ahead at what will be popular in the future and positioning yourself early. And I believe soon we're going to see a lot of new people enter into the crypto markets. And a lot of them are going to be inexperienced traders who are new to the crypto space. We saw this in 2017, we saw this in 2021 when literally everyone and their mom was talking about crypto and investing into crypto. And I believe we're primed to see this start happening again starting this year. And this is what investors in the crypto market refer to as retail investors. And this is important because traditionally when retail jumps into the crypto markets, prices skyrocket to absurdly high levels. Levels that go much, much higher than most believe possible and by any metric aren't rational. They're not like logical price levels for these assets, but they go to these prices anyway because retail isn't logical when they invest in crypto. The amount of people investing in crypto today is tiny compared to the masses of people that are available to potentially invest into crypto. In every cycle, we see a huge rotation from retail as they jump into the crypto markets and push the prices of everything much, much higher. And because this is so important, I've been doing a lot of research and running a lot of polls to try to gauge retail involvement today. Like how many retail participants are jumping into the market today versus how many are going to jump into the market. And many of these polls that I've run have had over 2,000 responses. So it's a really large sample size, which means they're really high quality results. I've also been asking and talking to people in person. I've had friends and family members across the country ask and talk to people in person as well. And the conclusion of all of my research summed up really briefly is that retail isn't here yet, but that the ice is starting to thaw and that they will be here. So right now, my focus is positioning myself early for when retail shows up and for the things that retail is going to buy. Now, it's clear to me that when the average person starts investing into the crypto space, they're going to buy things that they understand. These are going to be the things that the average person gets excited about. And a lot of people in the crypto space think this is going to be things like modular blockchains. They think it's going to be things like data availability, but I personally think the average person isn't going to care about those things to the degree that most people in the crypto space think that they're going to care about those things. Instead, I think the average person is going to get really excited about things like crypto AI. AI is something that everyone understands. Everyone's seen enough sci-fi movies and TV shows to understand that AI is like this big revolutionary sci-fi technology that has the potential to absolutely change the world. Nobody doubts that concept. But currently, most of retail doesn't really have a great way to invest into AI. They could buy big companies like Nvidia or Microsoft, but they know that those aren't going to grow massively from here. They know those companies are huge today. They want to get in on early stage AI projects, but those investments in the traditional markets are restricted to VCs and the elite and those people that are allowed to access those opportunities. The average person isn't allowed to access those opportunities in the traditional markets. So when crypto is popular again, it's back in vogue, everyone's talking about crypto, retail's finally excited about crypto again, I think they're going to start looking at crypto AI tokens as a way to kind of alleviate that outlet of like, hey, I want to invest in AI startups and AI companies. I love crypto. I'm going to invest in crypto AI tokens. My personal take is that the majority of these crypto AI tokens are going to be absolute garbage. But I don't think that's going to stop these crypto AI tokens from reaching absurd valuations. Unfortunately, when it comes to retail investing into crypto, it often comes down to who tells the best story or who has the most compelling narrative as far as where people want to put their money. If a company has a really nice site, they tell a really engaging and good story about how big this thing could grow, a lot of people decide to invest because they think that is a vision that they want to see happen. This might sound really absurd and just ridiculous, but it's really not that different from what a lot of VCs do. Most AI startups will fail, yet a lot of these AI startups have raised tens of millions or in some cases hundreds of millions of startup capital from these VCs. And that's because just like the average person, a lot of these VCs also want to get in early on AI. And even the best of us are swayed by a really compelling story and narrative from a company that hasn't yet built a product. So if even VCs are over allocating into a lot of these low quality AI startups, how much more so do you think that the average retail investor is going to over allocate into a lot of these crypto AI tokens. My personal belief is this cycle, we're going to see at least one AI crypto project reach between $100 billion and $500 billion in market cap. And this is my personal list of projects that I'm investing into right now to play off of the coming AI crypto boom that I think is going to happen when retail shows up in mass. First off is Morpheus. This is one that currently doesn't have a token yet, but you can farm the airdrop for this token by depositing wrap staked ETH on the platform and waiting for the token to drop in May. Morpheus is a peer-to-peer network for AI and a legitimate crypto AI project. One of its biggest supporters and investors is a guy named Eric Voorhees. He was a really early crypto investor who made a fortune. He's the founder of Shapeshift. The guy who debated SBF right before the FTX collapse was the opening speaker at Permissionless last year and is one of the most plugged in and respected names in the crypto space. Another project he's an investor and supporter of is Thorchain, which currently has a market cap of over $2.6 billion. Eric is the real deal. He deeply understands the space and he wouldn't back a project that he thought was vaporware. Morpheus today has just 16,000 followers on Twitter, which is pretty small for a project, especially a crypto AI project. And I think right now Morpheus is still flying under most people's radar, which means you have the opportunity to farm the token early before it even launches. I mentioned earlier that I've made well over $100,000 farming airdrops between 2023 and 2024. In fact, I've had some insane airdrops like Degen from Farcaster that when I got airdropped this token, it was worth around $2,000. It fell in price to around $1,000 and I ended up holding on to it for some stupid reason. I don't remember why I held on to it. And today it's worth over $59,000. So don't discount how big being early in the right projects can be. Which, by the way, in the description of this video, I have a link to a newsletter that I'm launching. It's basically just going to be a weekly email that includes links to all my latest content, so like my YouTube videos, my podcasts, etc. However, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be sharing a project in my newsletter that's just too small for me to share on YouTube. So I have 200,000 followers on YouTube. Sharing that project when it's so small on YouTube would just kind of overwhelm the project and pump the price up too much. But similarly to Degen, it's a Farcaster token that I think could have maybe some potential. It's also like max high risk on the risk spectrum. So, you know, obviously a small market cap crypto is like uber ultra, I used to call it risk level rainbow. It's like the highest possible risk that you can conceive of. But if you're an insane person and that's something that sounds interesting to you, make sure you go subscribe to that newsletter and that's where I'm going to talk about it and share it. Okay, so back to Morpheus. Morpheus basically aims to be a truly open source network of general purpose LLMs that competes with big companies like OpenAI and Microsoft. It also natively interfaces with blockchains and smart contracts to allow anyone, regardless of their experience, to interact and interface on-chain. It's basically as big of a play as you could possibly make when it comes to crypto and AI intersecting. Now, to make this super simple, just think of it like this. Crypto is a time-proven, really good way to incentivize the building of infrastructure, software, and talent. Look at Bitcoin as an example. The creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever he was, hasn't chimed in, added to Bitcoin, or even been heard from since 2010. That's 14 years ago, yet Bitcoin's gone from a $200,000 market cap to over $1 trillion in market cap. Has a full-time community of developers working on it. Miners all over the world securing it, yet no company or person runs or owns it. Bitcoin simply built out a really strong incentives mechanism built into the protocol, and all of these things organically formed around it. The internet is similar in a lot of ways. It's a public good that anyone can build on, and look at how powerful and big it's become. Crypto is really good at incentives and raising capital, and permissionless public goods are really good at attracting quality builders and talent. So were this built well, it would have a shot at attracting developer mindshare and becoming a really powerful competitor in the space. My current take is this could be one of the projects that we see hit insanely high valuations during the height of the bull market. Again, my conviction is we're going to see at least one AI project hit between $100 billion and $500 billion in market cap this cycle. Obviously right now, none of that is happening. They don't have a token yet, so it's still really early days. And you can, again, get started farming this airdrop early by depositing wrap staked ETH onto the platform and then claiming the token on May 8th. The second AI crypto project that I'm looking at for this cycle is, of course, Akash. I've been talking about Akash since December 2022. And since then, it's up 1,700% or about 17x, meaning every $1,000 invested back then would be worth $17,000 today. Despite that, I still think it's really early days for Akash and it can still go much higher from here. Akash, put really simply, is the Airbnb of computing. compute. They allow those with extra GPUs to rent them out, and these GPUs are used to train and power various LLM models. And compute is the lifeblood of AI. There literally isn't enough of it to go around right now. Another way that you could think of Akash is like the AWS of crypto. AWS, or Amazon Web Services, is valued at over $1 trillion, and it also similarly allows users to rent out compute. I did an entire video on Akash. If you want to do a deep dive, I also did a podcast with the founder of Akash, diving into everything about the protocol. In my opinion, I see some really solid paths forward for Akash, especially as retail speculators jump into the market and start comparing the market cap of Akash sitting at just $1 billion to some of the market caps of its permissioned counterparts like AWS sitting at $1 trillion. And recently, Akash was listed on Coinbase, and considering most retail investors don't invest on chain, I think this makes Akash a prime play for most retail investors wanting to bet on an AI crypto, as it's super easy for them to just buy Akash's AKT token with just a few clicks in their Coinbase account. Akash is another good project that's actually building something useful and already is used today by multiple teams in the AI space who are building or training AI models. My belief is Akash could also be one of the projects we see hit anywhere between 100 billion and 500 billion during this cycle, turning every $1,000 invested into $100,000 or $500,000. And maybe that sounds ridiculous to you, but I'm telling you, I've been through multiple crypto bull cycles, and you are probably vastly underestimating how stupid things can get when the mania hits its full heat. I have another tiny crypto AI project to share, but really quick. In 2 weeks, I'm opening back up the Obsidian Council to 100 new members. The Obsidian Council is my private research community where I share monthly research, my entire portfolio updated monthly, buy and sell alerts when I jump into projects, and a ton more. We've had projects like Akash, which we just talked about, which is up over 1,700% since sharing it, and was first shared in the Obsidian Council. We've had projects like Pindle, which is up over 776%, Lake, which is up over 1,200%, and a ton others. We also have the airdrop guide, which some members made over $26,000 last year from airdrops alone, covering their entire membership for literally decades. I personally made well over $100,000 between this year and last year, and I share everything I'm personally doing with airdrops with the community via the monthly airdrop guide. If you missed out and want to be able to jump in next time the Obsidian Council opens, there's a waitlist in the description of this video. Again, I'm only letting in the first 100 signups. After that, I'll close back down again. My third crypto AI project is Layer AI. This one's actually a really decently small one at the moment, sitting at just 9 million in market cap. Now, unlike the previous two projects, I'm not looking at this one for the fundamentals or the tech. Instead, I'm playing this one as a narrative play. Remember, I said that I think a lot of crypto AI projects are going to skyrocket, but I think that 99% of them are going to be absolute garbage. I don't know if Layer AI is garbage or not currently, but for me with this play, it doesn't matter. They have a solid branding, a great narrative as the internet of AI, and today are so incredibly small that there's a ton of upside potential. For example, were they to grow to just the size of Akash, that would be 111x from today's prices, turning every $1,000 invested into $111,000. If they went to just a $10 billion market cap with Shiba Inu, which is a meme coin, Crypto.com coin, VeChain, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Terra Luna, and a bunch of other nonsense, all went higher than that last cycle. If it went to just 10 billion, that's 1,000x from today's prices. Or for every $1,000 invested, it would turn into $1 million, which is absolutely insane. And I'm not saying it's going to go that high. I'm just pointing out how small Layer AI is today. So to sum it all up, Layer AI is really, really small today. They have really great branding. They tell a really compelling story and have a really solid narrative. And they're tapping into the single most powerful narrative I believe there will be this cycle, which is AI. And obviously out of the 3 tokens I've talked about during this video, this one would be the most risky. It's really small. There's a lot of ways that a small project can fail. When I invest into small projects, I anticipate that 6 out of 10 of them will literally go to zero, because that's typically how it works out. So again, this one's a lot higher risk, and there's a lot of ways that this one could fail. The token for Layer AI is LAI. And as a reminder, again, if you want to sign up for that newsletter, there's a link in the description of this video. If you want to join the waitlist for the Obsidian Council, which is going to launch and open back up in 2 weeks, there's also a link in the description of this video. Obviously, none of this is investment advice. None of this is me telling you to buy any of these tokens. You should always do your own research, and blindly copying YouTubers is literally the worst way to invest on the face of the planet. So you need to stop doing it and start actually putting in the hard work and learning how to do these things yourselves. If this video is helpful, make sure to hit that like button. If you have any other AI projects you think should be on this list, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it to be notified each time I release a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.